Welcome back to Indiana as we get ready for the second half. I'm Jim Gray. Spoke to Jeff Van Gundy. He's very happy with the running that his team did, 18-5 on fast breaks. He said we have to get some points, more points off our offensive set. It's concerning to him. He wants his guys to be patient. As for Larry Bird and his staff, he told his team, guys, we're in pretty good position here. Get back defensively and everything should be all right. Tom?
All right, Jim. Rick Smits with his first field goal of the game. As Indiana comes back with its original starting five, Mark Jackson, Chris Mullen, 0 points, Rick Smits, Dale Davis, and Reggie Miller. Tap in by Kurt Thomas, who's on the floor for New York with Allen Houston, Larry Johnson, Patrick Ewing, and Charlie Ward.
Pacers spending a lot of time whining to the officials instead of taking care of business. Finally, Rick Smits makes a shot.
Jackson, Miller. The leaner by Reggie Miller. A dozen points for Reggie, who is shooting 5 of 6.
Beside the fine job on defense that Charlie Ward and Chris Childs have done on Jackson, they have not committed a turnover between them in the point guard position for New York. Very solid.
Kurt Thomas at rims out. Hauled down by Dale Davis.
That's the matchup where they really have to make the Indiana Pacers pay for. Mullen against Thomas when they're out on the floor. Mullen.
First shot. First field goal, Chris Mullen.
A 6-2 run has got this crowd back in the ball game, and that's the one thing that the Knicks want to work very hard to keep from happening on a consistent basis. Ward for 3.
Charlie Ward misses. Davis all alone for the carom. And now the Pacers have a chance to take the lead.
No fast break opportunities whatsoever for Indiana. Terrific floor balance, New York.
Mullen misses that quick shot. Ewing had Dale Davis blocked off, but Davis kept it alive, and Smith misses. This time Ewing has it for good.
Ewing was trying to rebound flat-footed, so that Achilles is starting to act up on him.
He has 6 boards in the game. Larry Johnson, 11 points in the first half.
But the Knicks don't get any ball movement, player movement. It's one pass and a shot. Mullen goes down. He's looking at the official saying, how did I get on my back?
Steve, you know Larry Johnson's in the zone, though. He went to the lick, the hand lick that time.
LJ has 13 points.
This is one of the best games I've ever seen Larry Johnson play as a Knick.
Off a screen, Miller, ball fake, 3-pointer, no good. On the floor, the long rebounded Jackson. Smith calls for it.
Terrific closeout, Larry Johnson defensively.
And a steal by Charlie Ward. He's fouled by Smits.
When Larry Johnson's in the post, reminiscent of Scott Wedman. Lick the fingers, cool them off, face. Scott Wedman of the Boston Celtics used to do that virtually every time he stroked that graceful jumper.
Let's see if the Knicks come back to Kurt Thomas against Mullen. They tried to. It's a tough angle from over there to go all the way across the court when all you have to do is just come right down on the same side of the floor and drop it into him.
A rare New York turnover as Charlie Ward sailed it out of bounds. First turnover in 18 minutes by New York. Smith got a pretty good push from Ewing. Recovered. Ward doubles. Smith misses. Thomas, the outlet to Ward.
Getting very rough out there. The whistles have been put away.
Johnson blows by Mullen. Smith to help alter the shot, and Indiana has it.
What is that around Reggie's shoulder?
Mullen for 3. Chris Mullen was quiet for the first half, but 5 in the second, and it gives Indiana its first lead since the middle of the second quarter when they were up 32-31. Ewing answers for New York.
Beautiful penetration, and then Patrick stepping in. This is the way Patrick Ewing, I think, should have been playing his entire career. Focus in on the defense, the rebounding, the screening, and then be a spot-up shooter off somebody else's creativity. He hasn't had the teammates in the past to allow him to do that, though. Ooh!
Dale Davis! Dale Davis. Kurt Thomas felt the seismic vibration of that one. Right in his face.
Pacers have switched Dale Davis onto Larry Johnson, trying to cut off his offensive contributions.
Davis with a steal to Jackson. Jackson right back from Mullen. Smith. And now Smith and Thomas square off. Give Rick Smits credit, he would have none of it. He just turned and walked away.
No love lost between these two teams here. Good hard foul.
Well, they wanted to Kurt Thomas, and it looked like he swung at him, and maybe he was just clearing his arm, but all of the Pacers are now lobbying for some sort of ejection of Kurt Thomas. You watch his arm swing free and come by.
Does not have to draw contact, does not have to be a close fist. They're calling a double technical and a personal against Kurt Thomas as they both stay in the game.
That's a tough technical foul on Rick Smits. He just turned and walked away.
Well, there's been 2 incidents today, very hard fouls by the Knicks underneath. Neither one of them called flagrantly. Neither called appropriately either.
Well, the physical play. Mark Jackson to Davis. Dale Davis with 2 consecutive buckets and a steal in between. And Indiana has outscored New York 13-6 in the quarter.
It's all starting to work for Indiana right now. Larry Bird fires him up at the half. The beautiful pump fake, and then the seismic vibration delivery. Thank you, Tom. And then the penetration, the curl by Jackson. He freezes Ewing. Dale Davis, a couple years ago, Steve, he couldn't make that shot. But his ability, his development as a shooter has really added a new dimension to the Indiana Pacers.
He's given him a huge lift today. You know, he's been very effective in the shots that he has taken. And the half-court offense of Indiana has had an impact here at the start of the third quarter. We take a look at Larry Bird, and he feels better about his execution. Van Gundy has got to get his defensive energy back up because they're moving the ball and people too freely. Ewing.
Ewing over Smith. Batted around to Jackson.
Without ball movement, you only get that one shot if it doesn't go in. The Knicks cannot survive without multiple opportunities, so they've got to move the ball, move people.
Beautiful pass.
Smith. Rebound Thomas. Mark Jackson already 4 assists in the quarter.
In the quarter?
8 in the game.
But they've made some shots. I mean, you say it shockingly, but when they were shooting 40% at the half, that's not going to get it done. Another one-shot and miss. Kurt Thomas.
Thomas grabbed the jersey of Chris Mullen and dragged him to the court.
But Kurt Thomas is a skilled player. There's no need for him to act like a goon out there where it's just a foul every time.
Well, that's what he's been acting like the last couple of minutes. And he has his 3rd foul, the latest on the drag down of Chris Mullen. 6:32 left in the third quarter. The Pacers have recaptured the lead on New York.